Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Combat Sports Report podcast. I'm your host, Alan, with our co-host Simkai, and we're here with a very special guest today.
Yes,
We're here
sir.
with Mr. Sean Pero. We have, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a featherweight, yes, or a lightweight? Because like on Tapology, it says 150 pounds, and it seems like you can kind of make both.
I'd rather make only featherweight, not lightweight, and probably going down even to bantamweight, but we'll talk about it.
Okay, okay, sick. Very cool. So featherweight, bantamweight. You're coming off of a very big win, very
Yeah.
impressive performance earlier, and it was a very nasty head kick knockout. So can you please walk us through what's it like? That card that you were on, I'm looking at it right now, has
Love
some
the
big
car.
names on it. Jorge Patino, Kyle Machado. You were on a card with former UFC fighters, and that's got to be a cool feeling. You're close to these guys that were already there. I'm sure that's where you want to go too. So what's that like?
Well, it was awesome. When I saw him there, I'm like, oh, cool, nice, fighting on the same card. I saw, Charles Oliveira was there, of course, Gian Silva was in my corner. So I'm surrounded with a lot of great people, a lot of people that did what I want to do at the best and the highest levels, and just gives me more motivation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you, it seems like, prefer to keep fights on the feet. You have a very exciting style. So, like, did you start off as a striker when you got into this martial arts journey of yours, or did you have to make that transition?
Well, I started like with MMA with everything, but I competed mainly in jiu-jitsu when I was young. But then I hopped to straight no amateur career to the pro career at 2017, and I knocked the guy out in 1 minute. I tried to take him down and everything, and I had a lot of competition under my belt with jiu-jitsu, but the jiu-jitsu just didn't feel right in an MMA setting for me, and we hopped back to the feet, and I found the knockout pretty quickly. 2 months after, I had another fight with a big guy in lightweight. Both fights were in lightweight, and
Well,
I just in the second round with a flying knee. I never threw a flying knee before in my life. So, and I felt just so comfortable in striking. Of course, I was striking since I'm a child, but I never competed in it. And then I had a big injury, and I came back, and I said, okay, I had a long layoff, almost 4 years. I want some experience before I'm jumping again to the pro ring, especially with no amateur career. Like there were not an MMA scene in Israel to show us the way back then.
yeah.
So I started doing just Muay Thai, and then I went to Thailand and had my first Muay Thai fight after 4 years out of the ring. I just fell in love, and then I came back to Israel, another like 14, 15 Muay Thai amateur fights. After doing my pro fight, I start with pro and then I go to the amateur. And then I came back to MMA for like another 5 fights since then, 6, yeah. So and from then I felt like yeah, I'm gonna keep it on the feet. I like it more there, feel more comfortable, more natural. It's my nature, and it's more exciting. Today we want to see more strikers, but I'm doing what I need to win, and this is usually the best way for me to win because from what I see, I'm better striker than most of the guys. So for me to strike is usually the better approach. Of course, I can grapple. Of course, I defensively and offensively I'm very good grappler, and I know you will see it in the future. I'm working on it tirelessly, and if the time comes, if I fight like a former glory champion and I need to take him down or something, I'll do that. Don't worry.
Happy to hear that. Like a lot of guys would prefer to stand and trade with the Glory Champion, and I don't. From from what I've seen in the UFC, I don't think that's the best idea.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good on you for having that fight IQ.
Maybe I'll bang with him after I showed him a takedown or two, So let's make it even.
Let's do it. Let's do it. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. So you've trained with some absolute monsters. You've been in the same room as some like rising legends of the sport. You just mentioned John Silva. You're training with the fighting nerds. They were in your corner. I believe you also trained at Bangtao. Is that right?
Right. I started my MMA career in Bangtan. Not started, but came back to it.
Yeah, Bangtao is a great gym for I don't know a lot of people who are not that like in the know. They don't really understand, but Bangtao is a great Muay Thai gym. That's a great place to get your roots or your hands dirty in the Muay Thai space. So, what is it like? What kind of confidence does it give you to be in the same like room as all these guys and seeing, hey, like I'm having success in some rounds with these guys?
Well, it gives you a perspective. First of all, it shows you where you're at every minute, and you're always comparing yourself to the best, not to anybody else. And that's how I wanted. I started in Bangtao, and from there I went to Extreme Couture in Vegas, and then I started working just in the PI and the Extreme Couture a lot. You know, all the UFC fighters around me, and now the fighting nerds. So it gives you also a gauge, and it also gives you like you can see the way the journey throughout everyone's career, where they're at and where they're going, and skill wise you can always with these guys know where you need to work on, what you're good at, what you're less good at, what you need to develop. And the knowledge from each and every one of those is gold, you know, even a little bit. Some people would go and like take big flights and pay a lot of money just to get like a little tip from one of those guys, and being around them all day it gives you a lot of confidence, especially for a guy like me who likes to be in and out, like very greedy in the game, like know every detail. Then when I step up into the ring, I know I did everything I can to win that fight.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And kind of going back to going back to your roots a little bit also. You are an Israeli fighter, but you're also part of a very um let's say like under like talked about group in Israel. You're an Israeli Druze. But what does it mean for you to be one of the biggest Israeli Druze fighters on the pro scene right now?
Biggest
I
Druze?
Yeah, I think I'm the only one, and that feels great. You know, I'm paving a road for the young generation. A lot of kids growing in those villages. It's a light of hope for them. I was one of them not so long ago, and it feels good. And I'm just beginning. You know, I'll open a bigger and bigger and bigger road for everybody, for Israelis and Jews alike. And I'm happy with that.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean, yeah, it must be awesome like being like you're the first. I don't think I've ever heard of a Druze MMA fighter before. So I think you're the first of your kind.
Yeah, we had two, Nadim Kabalan and Haitham Kayuf, which I trained with when I was very young. They did the Beltors in Israel, but very, very like two fights, three fights, not more than that, like long ago. But actively, I don't know of anybody right now.
Yeah,
You're
you,
breaking that glass
yeah,
ceiling.
I
You're
believe that.
gonna trailblazing for the younger generation. That's awesome to see. That's I feel like in the Israel has a very like untapped talent pool in
Yeah,
MMA, and I feel like a lot of people are ready to start seeing Israeli MMA champions.
exactly.
I,
Yeah,
I believe so, brother. We are first of all a very, you know, we are a war country. That's something that not a lot of people understand. Like a lot of like other countries also around the world that breed champions. We go to the army at 18. We all our life are kind of born and bred to this competitive survival mode. But it was never into sports. It was never. It was always for security for us. And I believe that now the younger generation is bringing all those values, principles, and the things we learned over the 70 years of this beautiful country. They will bring it into the cage. A lot of knowledge, a lot of humility, a lot of dignity. Good fighters. And now with the right systems and the right support, you will see rising stars. And I'm sure about it. Without the support, without knowing your road, we already have some great fighters. Yesterday, they just Yanala Shmuz fought on a UFC card. Nathan Levy was an active UFC fighter not so long ago. Eli Barzilai is fighting for an LFA belt just like in August in Los Angeles. You have Shimon Smotriski fought two contenders and two Fury in A1 league like championship. You know UFC Fight Pass leagues. already for the championships, being younger than me. So sorry, a lot of names, and we're just getting started. And the young generation is gonna be something else at all. They will have a good amateur background. They will have good support. The country is pushing them also. They will have good role models. We'll see a beautiful thing coming in the next few years.
Inshallah.
God willing, yeah. We have the Aronov brothers too, Raphael and Ellie, the
Hell,
Israeli tank.
hell yeah!
Monst
They
monsters.
like crap.
Yeah, we honestly, Israel has like some of the best and brightest. I just hope they get the spotlight they deserve soon. Like such a
Yeah.
talent. Like,
Yeah, and there was the recent controversy. I don't know if you saw this or heard about this. Sheer Cohen, she was supposed to fight for a Muay Thai title in ONE FC. He's saying, or people around her are saying she's not injured. ONE FC is saying she is injured. Do you know what's going on with that?
I know. I don't think I can talk about it, but if you know what I know, then
Fair
probably not.
enough.
Yeah. So
fair enough. Yeah.
I, I don't want to interrupt. You know what's happening there.
No, yeah.
I respect that. Respect that. I'm not going to pry on that. That's a kind of interesting situation, but
Yeah.
um, hopefully
Well,
we get to see her perform soon.
Yeah.
I hope so. She's gonna be a world champion for sure.
Oh yeah. We were saying like she
Speak about the Muay Thai thing, the Gordon brothers,
oh
Afshan
yeah.
and
I
Pai, good friends of mine. Look what they do, such a young talent. And their big brother, Kiberi, my friend, now joining the Fighting Nerds too. So big things coming up for him too. Check him out. Maybe he'll get a contender this year. So again, another name, more and more and more. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Floating onto the scene. So let's go back to your career for a second. You are 6-1 as a pro right now. You just got your sixth win, highlight reel head kick knockout.
Yeah.
So what do you want for your future? Like what I'm assuming the goal is the UFC, correct?
of course, the goal is the UFC. So that's why we're doing everything right. We sacrifice everything for that contract, and not just that contract. It will be a beginning. That my dream was from the moment I started this was to be a world champion, not a task and not something that you can just throw around and oh I'll be world champion and it will happen. So a long road ahead of us. We need to do everything correctly. On the near future, I know I'm gonna return to the Fighting Nerds soon. We already talked about it with them. I'm gonna be part of the team for now. And I think that I'll fight one or two times more this year. Hopefully, go 7 or 8-1 next year. I want to do another fight in the US early in the year, get a good fight there, get a good win. And if everything goes as planned and everything goes good, and we keep getting that highlight knockouts like Dana won, then maybe we can talk contender at the end of the year. The record is good, the performances are good. So now just keeping them up and keep evolving because I'm evolving very fast, and I don't know if people notice that because they're not me, they're not in there with me, but I will show it, and I will show it quickly. And let's hope that everything goes smooth. And even if it doesn't go smooth, I know that I will still be here, and eventually everything will happen. I'm young. I'm still 25, soon to be 26, and everything in good time.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think no, I definitely think you're gonna make it. I mean, do you want to win like a regional title before you go into the UFC or just see where it
Be
takes you?
awesome. I thought maybe first get that Thunder title, the promotion I just fought in, which is close to the fighting there, is close to home. If there will be a title on the line, I know a lot of guys like even I don't know if Caio Buchalio won the Thunder title before, but I think he fought there. I don't know if he won that. So this one, get that title will be if I can already hop for it in the next fight will be awesome. And after that, maybe even another one or just like a bigger promotion, bigger something. So let's see. Like you have the LFA and Fury; those are big promotions. So if I get a fight on those, I cannot get a title on those straight up. So if I get a fight on those, show my level, show a good performance, a good knockout, then maybe sometimes it's worth more than a contender series. Getting entitled in one of those promotions. LFA, sounds good to me. But step by step, one by one.
That's, that's amazing. Do you have any like dream matchups that you would like to have for like active guys? Like who like
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor? Fair enough. I think he's a little bit above your weight class now.
He's kind of a middleweight right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a lot of matchups, dream matchups. Like I always dreamt about Topuria. Super like this guy, super like this guy, but like it's a dream matchup. Well, when I look at him when I was at the PI and I'm looking at his fights before Max Holloway, I'm like, I want to fight this guy, and everybody's like, this is the UFC World Champion. What are you talking about? Like Ilya Topuria, like the scariest man. I'm like, yeah, dream matchup. So I like Ilya. I like him as a matchup. So yeah,
That's awesome. Never shying away from the tough fights.
Exactly.
I like that mentality.
for sure.
Yeah. Um, okay, so I have one question that I like to ask fighters. Um, Actually, I have two. So the first one is like, what's a misconception that people who don't really fight often have about fighting?
I think everybody thinks that it's just so brutal, and the guys there are just like Tito Ortiz and like crazy Chuck Liddells, and when I knocked him down, they expect me to go down there and like tear his eyes and faces and everything. So some of them are like, don't get me wrong, but most of them are, especially elite fighters, are very smart human beings. I guess more like even the high level businessman wise, like how they carry themselves, their daily routines, how they take about care of their body, of their training, analyzing everything, doing everything with super discipline. So I think they are the most, I wouldn't say talented, but the most like interesting kind of fighter. Very intelligent, much more intelligent than people think they are. Fighters, much more intelligent than people think they are. So yeah, there are other sports for sure. I guess. I think, I think a UFC fighter is more smarter than most soccer players, but that's my guess.
Maybe it might just be like a specific type of intelligence. I feel like when you actually train, you kind of see through that like lens of like how to set up shots, how to finish people, how to pressure somebody with your cardio. And that's something that a lot of casuals don't really like understand, I feel like. Do you think there's a way that like professional fighters can kind of like send that message of like this is what we're trying to do? It's not like just two guys that are like kind of like throwing feints at nothing just to like pretend they're fighting. It's like they're trying to set something up. They're trying to like see the gaps in their opponent's like guard and trying to break through. Like, is there a way to kind of explain that to somebody, or does somebody just have to train to understand that?
Well, of course you can. And the fighting nerds do it a lot. You just need to listen, instead of just looking at the fights and looking at the press conferences and the trash talk and everything that brings rating. Go inside training rooms, go hear podcasts with fighters, go do stuff like that. So what I said about intelligence or something like that, I think it's also bred by how like you become a fighter, a pro fighter in the scene. It's first a lot of humility. It's a very long way. You're getting tapped along the way with smaller people, but by weaker people, but women sometimes, or something like that. You getting your ass beat by small Thai fighters. So you need to learn that strength is not the way. It's like more about the technique, especially when you have the weight classes and everything. You take a lot of the strength away. Now it's two people that usually weight around the same, and you need to be effective, more effective, and just hear coaches more. Like even less than hearing fighter. Hear coaches. They see a lot of fighters, and they will usually speak about technical abilities and not just toughness. This is usually the last thing they want to talk about it. Because a tough
Yeah,
fighter is a fighter that don't use his head too much.
yeah.
Just being force.
Yeah, a tough fighter is one that gets hit a lot. That's how you know that they're tough for
Yeah.
the most part.
I got this compliment a lot of times throughout a few of my last fights, like, what a tough fighter, or what a chin, and like, this is the worst like comment I can hear about it. I'm like, okay, okay,
Yeah, it's kind of like a
whatever.
backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Alan, no, I actually want
Yeah.
to ask this before you get to your other question, but what was so you I imagine as a fighter you also watched the fights last night. Did you have a fight that like stood out to you at all, or like a fight you
And
would
now, very very crazy fight, like a very good fight, like with the Australian guy killing this guy, like.
Oh
I was
yeah.
surprised by the Australian guy, to be honest. Very good tactic. He didn't know he will try to take down Yanal, he's the taller fighter and everything. So this was very interesting for me. Then Yanal like switched and became the more of the striker and wobbled him in the third round. And crazy fight. I very like this fight. Like, so this was interesting one for me.
Yeah.
O'Malley, I'm like, when I'm looking at O'Malley, I'm like, yeah, let's how he controls the distance and everything. I love Mirab. I trained with Mirab and everything, but as a striker, I'm always like trying to see like how they solve as a striker, the wrestler, and everything. Then I felt like O'Malley didn't switch into like a more aggressive style mid fight, and he was just like just controlling, just cruise controlling, and then starting to wear down a little bit around the cage, not moving as much, trying to time already Mirab. Then Mirab takes him down, and then Mirab does it again and again and again and again, and then submits him in front of Donald Trump on the third. So that was an amazing fight to watch. Mirab, 35 years old, I guess, and cardio machine, just getting better. One Sean O'Malley, then Omar Nurmagomedov, and then submits O'Malley like, bro, you're just getting better. Well, what's up? And Merab, from what I know, like from the training rooms and everything, he's not the best on the training rooms. Like he's on the best like on the cages. That's crazy to see. It's not that he's bad, but it's not as nearly as you expect from what he is on the mats and what he is on the world stage. That I think also tells you how hard he works. Like I don't know if he's there always like 100% in the training sessions because he's always working out so hard before, after, and everything. So it shows up eventually. So that was
Yeah.
one.
yeah.
It was a very high output and high confidence fight from Marab. I thought it was, I thought it was sick, but I agree with you. I think the Yanala Schmooze Quillen Salkeld fight was, for my money, it was the fight of the night. It was
Yeah.
insane to watch. The output, the pressure, the pace that they were going at was insane.
Yeah.
It was hard to believe, honestly.
Definitely fight of the night for me too.
Evelyn
Yeah.
is an Israeli guy, so props to him.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm sad that he lost, but
Yeah, same.
that's hard. I'm sure the UFC will keep him active. So let's
Oh, of
go.
For sure.
course.
He's a beast. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like watching.
he knocked out Sam Patterson, and that guy's like on a streak himself.
Welterweight.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
All right.
and it
Mhm.
backed out, and I saw like, ooh, is taking this guy. This guy is very good, and then he knocks
Yeah.
him
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
In the
down.
first minute, that was insane.
Yeah, and the way too was crazy.
Yeah.
The very guy. If he was a little bit more loud, this guy would be big, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we talked a lot about Sean Pero, the fighter, but I want to ask really quickly. This is usually like my closing question, but like, how is Sean Pero the man, not Sean Pero the fighter? How are you doing as a human being? Like how are you doing? How's your mental state? Like how are you?
Well, I'm great. I'm great. I'm doing good. I'm focusing on improving, on progress, and cannot be better. A lot of load, a lot of work, but I'm a workhorse. That's how I see myself, and that's the standard I hold myself to be. So I'm happy. Keep it coming. Keep the pressure. Keep the work. Keep everything. And mentally, I'm happy with that. There were days that I was dreaming of just having a bit of that. So it's a privilege to now have all that, and I'm happy with that. And focusing just on improving from a day to day. That's great.
And you have a strong base of support, I from your family. And obviously Mansoor. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Mansoor is not my family, but he's
No,
like
no, yeah. But
became
like,
like yeah. You know, a lot of the people around me, close to me, are very supportive. You know, they're always like seeking what's happening for me and being there for me. So we're very very close. I'm always like kind of alone around the world doing training camps, and that's how I know myself. Also, I'm just working and working and working and figuring out another thing to do and how to tackle a problem from another way. Or but they're there for me to see if I'm falling, if I'm struggling with something and pulling me up. So yeah, and Munster became like a family this year for me. This last camp was very hard for me financially, and not the first camp that was hard for me financially. You know, a lot of people, fighters especially, they shy away from like investing in themselves, from doing those stuff because they don't have money or something. And I never had money or anything, but I knew that they will never shy away of putting all the money on myself, even if sometimes it doesn't pay off, because on the long run it will pay off. And this
Mhm.
time I came there and I really was broke. You know, in Brazil it was cheap, but really was broke. And Mansour really helped me get some funds in, and we get some sponsors. And now, you know, with the last win and everything, it's just getting better, and I'm happy with that.
yeah,
It's
he's an
awesome.
awesome guy. I like him.
Yeah,
Uh, really cool guy. And you definitely, I imagine like the Druze community overall, not just in Israel, has been like super supportive.
yeah, yeah. I get a lot of messages from Syria, Lebanon, sometimes from Abu Dhabi, you know, Jews in diaspora, you know, like. So I'm like, everybody is going there and supporting me. Even some like Jews from like enemy, let's call it, countries, you know, Syria and things like that. Of course, they're gonna be with me, but sometimes they will not show their support, so it doesn't backfire on them a lot of times because I'm an Israeli guy at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
a lot of them didn't shy away, and they sent messages. They sent their big following, and I'm happy to be making them proud too.
Love that.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I also love
That's
I love Druze people too.
I love them too.
yeah. I mean, it's gotta feel good to be on the way to achieving your dreams and having that base of support behind you. I'm very happy to hear that it's like it's going in the right direction, and God willing, soon enough we'll see you in the UFC.
Yes, God willing. Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Of
we will see
course, of
you.
course. Yeah.
Especially with if you're with fighting nerds. I mean, they're on fire, man.
That's the fast track.
That's the fast track.
It's hard not to get there with this team, you know.
Yeah.
I knew how special they were before they popped. You know, I helped Gian Silva in the PI when he was supposed to fight Charles Jourdain. It was the
Mhm.
first time I met the guy and the fighting nerds. And I was after sparring at Extreme Couture, you know, very tired. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna help this guy. They asked for me because I'm supposed to be looking like Charles. And then when I trained with him, I remember we drilled, and I felt something strange. I never have problem with striking with other fighters,
Mhm.
especially this or stuff like that. Not too much, but with this guy, I felt some weird pressure, presence, how they want to call it. They love to call it. Felt a weird presence, and it was
Well,
just, it was very intense. And he got me with a few shots that like wobbled me. And like my friend Eli tells me, like I told you, be careful with that guy. Even when you're drilling, even when like you're light sparring or something, he's dangerous. And he became a good friend of mine from that day. And Pablo and the team, and every time they come to Vegas, they will bring us for like a 1 hour session to show us some new stuff. And I knew I'm heading there because they surprised me on the standing, like on the striking, how developed they are in MMA, how systematically developed. It was crazy. And then getting there, it just got even crazier. Like it's so much deeper than I ever thought. And I'm just waiting to get there and keep working, keep working. They're just evolving. I hope everything goes well with that team. Really, that they keep that, because a lot of those team on the come up, they tend to break somehow. A lot of conflicts, a lot of stuff like that. It doesn't look to me like that, like something like that will happen. So God willing, they stay as they are. They achieve. They go for greatness, and they keep their head and they keep their mindset. And I hope we'll see a few champions from there simultaneously, and this will be a dream. And I hope I will be there to be with them when that happens.
Oh, I think you will.
To see it. Do you yeah, I can't wait to see that. And I think you're right. I think they treat it very much like a family almost, and I think that's very healthy for a team dynamic. Just really quickly before we wrap, do you have any last words of advice, any message to the people out there that you wanna shout out or give advice?
So I love everybody, but everybody go chase your dreams, go do whatever your gut tells you. It never ever goes bad. Sometimes, but if you have no regrets, eventually you stick to what you want to do. You will live a good life. You will not work a day in your life because you're going for what you want. So I hope that inspires some people that goes for something, that have passion for something. Don't stop because everything else is not worth it.
Oh man,
Amen.
shout out to that. That's a great message.
Yeah.
Sean, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Combat Sports Report podcast with a very special guest, Sean Pero, soon to be, knock on wood, in the UFC
keep an
with
eye out for this guy. He's gonna
the
take the world by storm.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can't wait to see it. Thank you, Sean. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.